Arnold Koeller service record. Arnold was called for military service in 1944. At the time, he was working in Moose Jaw, Saskatchewan at Prairie Airways as welder, building and repairing aircraft for the war effort. On call-up, he was sent to Camp Dundurn in Saskatchewan for basic Army training. On completion of training, most were then assigned for active duty to the war theater. However, the individual could decline to go on active duty. This was strongly frowned upon by the general public. The active duty personnel were then volunteers to the war theater. He had been trained and first assigned to go to the 14th Canadian Hussars, 8th Reconnaissance Regiment from Swift Current. They were camped at Woking, England. By the time he got to England, the Army was in dire need of basic infantry soldiers, as they were suffering heavy casualties in the summer and fall of 1944 in Europe. He was reassigned to the Rocky Mountain Rangers in Helmsley, York, England, for 1 month. He was then dispatched to the New Haven docks, from where he was sent to the war theater in Europe in September of 1944. On arrival in Europe, he was assigned to B Company of the 1st Battalion, Royal Highland Regiment of Canada, the Black Watch. This was a traditional infantry battalion which originated from Montreal. He was assigned as a Bren gun crew, a 2-person team that operated a 303 Bren gun, light machine gun, as the machine gun support in 16 Platoon B Coy, 1 RHC. He spent his time for most of the war in this assignment. The Black Watch was part of the 5th Brigade, which was in turn part of the 2nd Canadian Division, the Blue Patch Division. He was sent to Antwerp, Belgium, in September 1944, where he joined the Black Watch at the start of the Scheldt Estuary Campaign. Britain had managed to capture the port of Antwerp intact, and they badly needed a working large port to move in enormous quantities of supplies that were needed to succeed in the war. The Canadian Army was tasked to clear the German defenders out of the Scheldt River estuary, which controlled the access to the port of Antwerp. The details of this and successive actions can be found in the histories of the Canadian Army in World War II. The places and battles that Private Arnold Koeller participated in include St. Leonard, Brecht, Cordovan in Belgium. In Holland they include South Beveland, Wakkerchen Island, which was particularly difficult, the Rijnswald Forest, Rijmegen, Groesbeek, River Maas. In Germany they were at Weiler, Bedburg, Kalkar, Hochwald Forest, Bergendalen, Kleve, Xanten, and Groningen. He survived many battles, and the Black Watch suffered innumerable casualties during this time. But in mid-April, 2 weeks before the German capitulation, on the 4th of May 1945, he was wounded in action. He was struck in the arm and shoulder by a piece of shrapnel from a mortar or artillery shell. He was backloaded to the military hospital in Bruges and returned to duty in early June of 1945. Following, he was sent to the South Saskatchewan Regiment in the Army of Occupation. From there, he was sent to the Regina Rifles. During this time, soldiers were assigned points for their period of service, their families, and their employment at home. Personnel were then selected for repatriation home as their points reached a sufficient level on the list. He was dispatched near Denmark at Awick on the Eschede Canal, then near Hamburg and Kiel. In the fall of 1945, he was called to go home. He took a truck into Germany, a train to Brussels, and was repatriated home on the ship the Empress of Scotland. He arrived home before Christmas 1945. For his war service, Private Arnold Koeller was awarded these medals: the 1939-45 Star, the France and German Star, the Canadian Voluntary Service Medal with Bar, the War Medal 1939-45, Netherlands Commemorative Medal. Private A. J. Koeller was returned to No. 12 District Depot in Regina, Saskatchewan in January 1946. He went through medical examinations where he signed off his file for any further medical claim as a result of his war service. He was released from the service effective January the 10th, 1946. He had served for a total of 704 days, or 100 weeks and 4 days. His war service gratuity in return for no medical claim was $368.05. What a Christmas present for the family. The Malone family were the first to see Arnold when his train pulled into Moose Jaw. There was a short celebration there between trains before he departed for Admiral, where there would be a greater homecoming event. The Malone boys reported how impressed they were with Arnold's condition on his return from duty. He was a specimen of strength and stature in his Canadian uniform. The medals. The 1939 to 1945 Star. This medal is a campaign medal of the British Commonwealth awarded for service in the Second World War. It was awarded after having completed at least 6 months' period of service in an operational command. For Arnold, his service was in the war theater between September 3rd, 1939 and September 2nd, 1945. The ribbon, designed by King George VI, has stripes of dark blue for Navy, red for Army, and light blue for Air Force. The medal is a 6-point star with a royal zephyr and crown on it. The France and German Star. This medal is a British Commonwealth campaign medal for World War II. It was awarded for operational service in France, Belgium, Luxembourg, and Netherlands and Germany between D-Day, June the 6th, 1945, and May the 8th, 1945. June the 6th, 1944, and May the 8th, 1945. Is a 6-point star with royal zephyr of King George VI with a crown on it. The ribbon of red, white, and blue symbolizes France and the United Kingdom. It was designed by King George VI. The Canadian Volunteer Service Medal was awarded to those who volunteered in the Forces of Canada and completed more than 18 months of service between September 3rd, 1939 and March the 1st, 1947. The medal shows 7 marching figures representing the different types of members in the military. On the back of the medal is the coat of arms of Canada. The silver bar is awarded for at least 60 days of service outside of Canada. The ribbon has stripes of dark green, scarlet, and blue. The War Medal, 1939 to 45, was awarded to all full-time personnel of the armed forces for serving at least 28 days between September 3rd, 1939 and September 2nd, 1945. The medal shows the crowned effigy of King George VI facing left. On the back shows a lion standing wonton on the body of a double-headed dragon to signify the principal Occidental and Oriental armies. At the top, just right of center, are the dates 1939, 1945. The ribbon has 7 colored stripes: red, dark blue, white, red, white, dark blue, red. The medal was established on August the 16th, 1945. The Netherlands Commemorative Medal. This medal was presented to Canadian veterans of World War II that served in the liberation of Netherlands in 1944 to 1945. This medal is a circular medal with a gold trim with a white background inside. It bears a face of the globe with the Western Hemisphere showing. Thank you.